Here is number 4 example of an API. Once again, front end, I haven't changed that much. On a button post, we're just going to send it to this other file, display the response over here. My form has changed a little bit. I just have a couple more fields in it. You can see over here, this is a Zillow API Ajax. You don't know what Zillow is, you can go find it, but here's a example URL I can use when accessing Zillow. It's like a home site where you can find values of different homes and what's not. So anyway, I pass in a particular address, city, state, zip, and it returns information to me about that home, and all these things then I can now work with inside of my application. Let's see, so home details, graphs and data, so I can have a link to that, which I'm going to do in just 1 second. I can map the home if I want to, and provide a link to where they can see a map of the home. Latitude, longitude, valuation rates, current value, all that sort of thing. So this is what my front end of my form looks like. But let's take a look at this Ajax. So load the form values in. I'm pulling those back out, storing them in variables, and I'm URL encoding them. You'll want to look at that function. This is what the Zillow API wants it in that particular form. That's why I used URL encode. And if you look at this, here's the actual example of the URL. The URL encode puts my address in that kind of format. So it looks like a URL, puts the plus signs between the spaces. Key, I needed to register for a key. I need to put the first part of the URL, and then I'm just constructing it so it looks like this URL that I have up here, appending the street address, and they only need a city and a state or just a zip. So I'm saying if they have a zip set, let's just use that. Otherwise, let's append the city and state. Then I echo out the query just to see what it looks like. Now, you'll notice that this response is a little different than what we've seen earlier. This is actually XML, and there are ways of getting that XML data converted to JSON, but there's ways of working with the XML directly. So in this case, I called this simple XML load file PHP function, and it loads it in for me, and it stores it as an object. We haven't spent a lot of time on objects, but objects are fairly easy to understand. Notice now I can go to that object, and I say go to that object, go to the response field of the object, that's what that says, go to the results within the response, and then go to result within that results. And so now I've stored that as $results. So really I'm working with everything under this currently highlighted portion as what I'm working with. Everything within this results tab I now have access to. And so I can say, hey, give me the chart. Go to that results, okay, sublinks, subgraphs and data, and pull that chart out for me. Go to results sub z estimate sub amount. So I can say, all right, where's z estimate? Okay, results sub z estimate sub amount, and it should print out the amount that that house is worth. And then I'm just putting that together in some p tags and echoing back those results. And so back over here, as I run that, okay, so here's now an example. Maybe I'm going to try to retrieve this home in St. George. Nothing. There we go. So Santa Maria Court, A4790, it's able to retrieve the value. Then I can click on it and go see the chart. So kind of interesting. You can add a lot of functionality with APIs.